Welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey here at the helm as I show you another fabulous project. This is video number 2 of 6 on working on the spring fling pillows. So if you're just joining me now, there is one video number 1 ahead of this in order to show you how to do the faces of your pillow. Today's video we are working on the center motif, and when you look at the flower you can see the green and a layer of the flower. That's actually one motif, it's just a color change with inside. So without further ado, let's get started on working on this pattern together. So let's get started. We are working on the center motif just like so. This is one piece here. You can see on the back that there's like a pocket that's formed. You can put stuffing on the inside of that if you wanted the front to be able to pop out instead of sinking down just like so. Again, the creativity is up to you. There is a color change at some point within this pattern here and it just carries on. So when you're looking at the pillow here, this green plus the first layer right here is all one piece. So now let's get started. I am using Red Heart with Love today for all of the ideas. This is hot pink, we have white, and then I'm going to be using candy floss, and it is fabulous. I'm using a size 5.0 millimeter crochet hook today by Susan Bates. To begin, we are going to do a slip knot just like you see here, and if you know a better way then you're more than welcome to do so. Slide in your 5.0 millimeter or a size H crochet hook into your work, and now we are going to chain 4. So this never counts as 1, by the way. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now it's asking us to 11 double crochets in the 4th chain from the hook and join with the slip stitch at the top of chain 4. So this is your chain 4, and all it's asking you to do is go in the very beginning one. So we're just going to wrap and going into double crochet into the first one. And it says to do 11 of those. So I just basically continue to go. So when you've done the chain 4, so just continue to go while I talk to you. While you did the chain 4, that actually counts as 1 double crochet. So essentially you are doing 11 double crochets right now, but the chaining of the 4 counts as 1, making a total of 12 all the way around. For experienced crocheters that do hats, you're probably very aware of that, and that's something that newbies may not completely understand. So it's a count. So you just count by just pulling it apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we do 8. I'm just catching that straggler into position there so you'll never see it. 8, and then we're going to do 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I want to recount, so you're just going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And remember what it says, you're going to join with the slip stitch. I'm just taking the straggler, just putting it in behind, and slip stitch it to the top of the chain 4 that you started off with, and there is your very center of your motif. So your next one that you have here is chain 1, 2 single crochets into the same stitch as joining, and then in each round all the way around, and then join with the slip stitch in the back loop of the first single crochet. So let's simplify. You're going to just chain 1, and this is where you've joined. Okay, so you're just going to do 2 single crochets in. Okay, so we're just going in for single, and then we go to the next one for 2. So every stitch around is going to get 2 single crochets. So complete to go all the way around, and I'll meet you back up where we're going to join with the slip stitch at the back loop. I'll show you what to do with that next. So you're coming all the way back around, and very easy, 2 single crochets into each. Okay, and you have your last one here, and I can tell that this is leading into the one that we started, so that's not one that we want to go into. So we want to slip stitch it at this point, and we want to slip stitch it into the back loops, and you will notice that there's like a lines that you can see going all the way around. That's caused by going into the back loops. When you look at typical crochet, you don't ever see these kind of lines, and so that's what is happening here. So all you have to do is like right at the top where you have everything, you have 2 loops. Usually the 2 stitches, 2 lines are the 1 stitch, and so the loop that's closest to you is the front loop, the one that's furthest to you is the back loop. So we're essentially just going to jump over the first loop, going into the back and pulling through and through, and voila, you've just done a back loop slip stitch join. So in round number 3 we are chaining 1 and then working in the back loops with the single crochet in each single crochet going all the way around, and then a join with the back loop again. So we're just going to chain 1. like this, going into the next one, and we are just going into the back loop. So let me show you. So the two that loops here, just like I explained, is one stitch. But if you go into the front one, that's the front loop. You go into the back one that's furthest to you, it's the back loop. So every stitch in the back loop is going all the way around, and you can see that the lines that you saw that I just pointed out is starting to emerge. And we're going to go all the way around and join with the back loop join, just like I showed you just a few seconds ago, and very easy. So this is round number 3. Very no-brainer. Just go all the way around, join it, and we'll meet you back up in just a second. And back all the way around, you're going to start noticing that it's starting to take a bowl shape. It's going to start to pucker on you, and that's what you want. So just look down and you can see where you've joined before, because sometimes you can just continually go around, because I've done that a few times already with this design. So just join the back loop only, and let's begin round number 4. And round number 4 is identicals. Chain 1, going into the back loop for a single crochet again all the way around. So do that. We'll meet you back up in a second. We'll complete round number 5. Okay, finishing up round number 4, again a back loop slip stitch join like that, and now let's go for round number 5, chain 1, back loop only again, and this is the last time we'll be doing this particular kind of stitch at this point with this particular motif, and just continue to do that. We'll meet back up and move on to round number 6. So we're now coming back around, and we are just going to do a slip stitch join to the back loop only. And now let's move along to round number 6. So round number 6, chain 1, working in the back loop only, single crochet SCDC, as you see, single crochet single crochet decrease 12 times. So let's begin. We're going to chain 1, and so essentially we are just working in the back loops only, so just going into the back, and we are doing a decrease stitch. So we're going to wrap and pull through and hold that on your hook. Let's grab the next one, going in, grab it. So now you have 3 in your hook, and you're going to pull it all together. So that basically has made 2 stitches here into 1, and we're going to continually do that. So every time you come back, so every time you see 2, so grab, pull through, go into the next one, pull through, and now pull through all 3. So just continue to do that. So essentially you are decreasing all the stitches by half at this point, because every 2 that you're running into, you're making it to 1. And you will notice that this was kind of creating a pucker. And remember what I showed you in the very beginning, that this pocket that is on the inside, well, that's being caused by the stitch that we're doing right now. This is concluding everything together to give it a nice bowl shape like you see. So continue to do that. So single crochet decrease on the back loops only for this entire round, and you'll see that the pocket is starting to form. So I'm back all the way to where I started, and I'm just going to finalize my last 2. This is the wonderful thing about this pattern. If you had 14 areas here to do that instead of 12 like it asked, you know, it's really no big deal. This is a flower. It is really quite simple. So just let's fasten off. We're going to now remove this color off of this at this point, and I'm simply just going to trim my yarn like so, and I just want to kind of pull it up and weave it in. I don't have to be too particular about it, because this is actually going to be on the underside of the flower at this point, and the next one is kind of an unusual idea, that we are not starting on the edge that we just created. This whole little, you can see it's like a little bowl now. We were actually moving 1 stitch up higher in order to begin the next color, and so this is what it will look like then from the top down. So this is actually quite excellent at this point. For round number 7, it says to join D, which is another color, and this color is only existing for 1 round, and so basically in the original pillow that I did is that I never bothered to change it, but that's something that's completely up to you at this point. So it says join with a single crochet in any front loop of round number 5, single crochet in the next blah 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 blah. So let's take it one step at a time. So the last row we just finished was round number 6. So remember what we have here. These loops that you see are now the front loops of the same stitches that you see. Okay, so do you see I'm not coming on the edge, I'm coming 1 back, and basically I can grab it anywhere. I can just start anywhere at this point, so I'm just going to go here because I see it a lot easier, and so I'm just going to join D. So I just got a loop just like so. Sorry for the white here on this particular pattern, and I'm just going to just do this, and I chose white because there's white on my trim of my pillow. So I'm just going to basically join, and then single crochet in the front loop of any of the next 4. So let's begin. So the next 4, okay, so I'm just going to come into the next stitch that you see here. I'm pulling everything tight, and I'm just keeping that straggler on top of the line. So this is 1 out of 4. So let's just pull it back, just going to the next. This is 2. So I'm just coming into the front loop, 3 and 4. I just want to keep that straggler under control. So that was 4. So now it says single crochet in the next loop and then single crochet in the next 5. Oh sorry, single crochet 2 times in the next loop. So coming into the next loop, we're going to do that one 2 times. So 1 and 2, and then for the next 5 we are going to do single crochets. So continuing to just kind of peel it back like an onion so you can see your stitch work. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 5. So now what it's asking you to do is 2 single crochets in the next, and then keep repeating that. So let's go. So 2 singles in the next, 1 and 2, and so basically the next 5 again. Okay, make sure, do you see how you're following the line all the way around? I almost jumped because this is where I joined with the slip stitch. I almost jumped and went on to the next round that's all the way around. So I just want to make sure I'm paying attention. So I'm just going to come up forward a little bit and make sure I stay on the same round. So 1 and then 2 and 3 and then 4 and 5, and the next one is going to get 2 again. So next one is 2 single crochets, and the next 5 again are going to be singles each. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and next one is going to get 2 singles in, and then whatever remainder, this should actually be the very end, but you can see I probably have 1 stitch left over. No big deal. I'm just going to fill it in with a single crochet in and then join it to where I started. And when I join, I just can join it into a regular stitch so that I don't have to do back or forward. And I'm just gonna grab my scissors and trim that off and fasten it off and weave it in. You can see that you now have a lip that's all the way around, and we are going to be using this white area then for your next area. This is pretty well going to just stay hidden under the flower. It will have a little bit of exposure just for a little bit of accent and color, but it's really no big deal. And in the original pillow that you saw with the green, I didn't bother to change it at that point, but that's kind of my personal choice. So trim that off nice and short so you don't have to worry about it later. And I'm going to grab my next color, which will be hot pink, and this is what it looks like at this point. So grabbing the hot pink now, we just want to go into the white section here. That is round number 7 as it's asking. It says join B with the single crochet in a back loop of round 7 and single crochet in each back loop going all the way around. So again, it's just the same here, and we just want to go into a back loop at this point and just looking at it. So I've been working at it so that it's been underside just like so. So that's kind of what I want to do going forward. So I can just grab it anywhere. So as long as it's a back loop like that, we can just grab the loop of the new color and just pull it through. And I'm just going to do, what do we have here? I'm just going to chain 1. It doesn't ask to chain 1. I'm just going to chain 1, and then in the next back loop I'm just going to single crochet all the way around. You know, sometimes you have to improvise to what you feel most comfortable. The way that I add all my stitches sometimes is different from what a pattern can offer, and it's something that is complete personal taste just for you. So again, we're just going into the back loops only, and I'm just trapping that straggler underneath the stitches just like so. I've got enough in there, and so now basically I'm just going to single crochet all the way around in. So the back loops here, why are they asking for that? The simple reason is that when you do only one side of the stitch, it makes it very flexible and very bendable, and so basically the petals are going to be able to sit underneath, and this will be able to sit upward when it's sitting down on top of the pillow. So continue to single crochet, back loop only, all the way around. So I've come all the way back around, and it just says to slip stitch in as normal. It's not saying slip stitch in the back loop, it's just saying slip stitch to be able to form it around and join with the first single crochet. So that is how you do that. So let's move along. This is the final round of your project for this particular motif, and what we have now is chain 1, single crochet in the first 2 single crochets, and then 2 blah 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 blah. So let's get started. Don't you love that? So chain 1, and it says the next single crochet in the first 2, so we're just going into the regular stitches, not anything special. So the first 2 is going to get a single crochet each, and now the very next one is 2 double crochets into the next twice. So what it's asking for you is the next one is going to get 2 double crochets, just like that. So you got your first one in, and the next one is going to be 2 double crochets as well, so that's what it means by twice. And then we're back onto the pattern here. It says single crochet in the next 2 single crochets. So the next 2 are just singles. Okay, and so the next 2 then are the double crochet again, so 2 double crochets into the next. And what this is doing is giving it a beautiful ruffling effect for the outside. And so that was 1, and so the next one has 2, and then the very next 2 have 2 single crochets each. So continue to do that same pattern all the way around. We'll meet you back up, and this is the end of this particular round, motif at this point. So now I'm all the way back around, and I just finalized the 2 last double crochet sections in, and it says just to simply slip stitch it to the beginning there, and that completes this round. So let's just trim our yarn at this point, and this will conclude this particular motif. Just want to weave in the edges underneath, and I just want to do a nice job in the original that I show you. I kind of just taken the red under here, and I just kind of went underneath, and just to make sure that it stays out of the way and it doesn't fall out if you're giving it to a friend. So let's move along, and thank you for joining me today. So here's the final from what we have, and as I can tell you on the first one that we had, see how I never change color, and this one we have the color change in the inside. Again, the creativity is strictly up to you at this point. So join me next time in the next video as we work on the second motif of this pattern. So there you have it. You have your centerpiece now done, and you're now ready to move on to your next piece. In the next video, video number 3, we're going to cover the very largest motif that exists within the flower. Now you're kind of thinking to yourself, why didn't the artist go down to the very next size up from this one? And I figured it out, that it's easier to understand the stitch work in the very largest one because the next 2 of these get smaller and smaller, but once you understand what she's asking for, it makes the other 2 a lot easier to work with. Join me in video number 3 as we work along the very bottom motif of this spring fling pillow. Until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. We'll see ya.